Have you ever wondered whether there was a universe before ours? And if so, what traces of it might still remain? This journey drifts between science and speculation, never abandoning either, but allowing curiosity to stretch far beyond the familiar. The story usually begins 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang, but that moment only marks the point where space-time, energy, and matter become meaningful to us. Before that, if before even makes sense, we simply do not know. And that uncertainty opens the door to the possibility that the Big Bang was not the first beginning, but one cycle in a series of cosmic rebirths. To approach that idea, it helps to understand the scientific endgame scenarios for our universe. The first is the heat death, the big freeze. In this timeline, the universe expands forever. Galaxies drift apart until they fade from view. Stars burn out. Black holes evaporate. What remains is a cold, silent ocean of near-zero energy, eternal stillness. The second possibility is the Big Rip. If dark energy grows stronger over time, it doesn't just pull galaxies apart, it tears them apart. Solar systems unravel, planets disintegrate, molecules split. In the final instant, even atoms are ripped open. The universe ends in a violent unmaking. The third scenario is the one that shifts the conversation toward cycles, the Big Crunch. In this model, expansion eventually reverses. The universe contracts, heats up, and collapses into an ultra-dense state, an inverse Big Bang. And then comes the provocative extension of that idea, the Big Bounce. Here, the collapse does not mark an ending, it triggers the next beginning. A universe expands, collapses, and rebounds into a new one, a heartbeat, a cosmic pulse repeating without end. This is not merely poetic. Prominent physicists have proposed serious cyclic models. One of them is Paul Steinhardt. Along with Neil Trogg, their model describes an endless sequence of cycles, expansion, slowing, contraction, and a bounce that ignites the next cosmos. The Big Bang becomes a repeating transition, caused by higher dimensional brains colliding again and again. Another influential voice is Roger Penrose with his Conformal Cyclic Cosmology. He envisions each universe, each aeon, expanding so far into the future and becoming so smooth, so uniform, so massless in character that its far future merges mathematically with the Big Bang of the next. The end of one becomes the beginning of another, a cosmological Ouroboros. Penrose has even suggested that hints of a previous aeon might be visible in our cosmic microwave background as faint concentric rings, possible echoes from events that occurred before our universe began. Not all physicists agree. Some argue that the entropy poses a fatal challenge. If disorder always increases, then each cycle must be more chaotic than the last, making perfect repetition impossible. Others say that accelerating expansion prevents a future collapse. Some believe that anomalies in the cosmic background can be explained without invoking older universes. For many, a single Big Bang is sufficient to describe what we observe. Yet the cyclic idea persists, perhaps because it resonates with an ancient intuition. that endings are beginnings in disguise, that nothing truly ends, that the universe renews itself like seasons. And now, imagination pushes the idea further. Picture the final moment of collapsing universe. Stars extinguished, galaxies falling back together, temperatures rising toward infinity, matter sprawling toward the final cosmic implosion. Somewhere in that fading cosmos, imagine a civilization that has survived to the very end. Ancient, incomprehensibly advanced, having mastered black holes, quantum gravity, and perhaps even consciousness itself. Facing the imminent collapse, the civilization searched for a way to leap into the next universe. Perhaps they would use black holes as gateways, funnels through which pattern of information could migrate from the one universe to the next. Perhaps they would imprint artificial signatures into the cosmic background, leaving messages for future intelligences. Or perhaps they succeeded in ways beyond imagination. Perhaps they failed. Perhaps the existence of consciousness in this universe is always the echo of their attempt. The idea depends further when placed against the concept of a mechanical, fully calculable universe. This brings to mind Laplace's demon. A hypothetical intelligence capable of knowing the exact position and velocity of every particle. With perfect knowledge, it could predict the future and reconstruct the past with absolute certainty. In such a deterministic universe, everything is inevitable. Every event unfolds from the last with mathematical necessity. Combined with a cyclic cosmos, and an extraordinary consequence appears. If each cycle begins with identical conditions, then the entire sequence repeats. Every galaxy, every star, every life, every moment, every thought, every sentence, and eternal recurrence written into the fabric of existence. But quantum mechanics complicates this picture. At the smallest scales, uncertainty dominates. Particles exist as probabilities until measured. Randomness is fundamental, not just apparent. The wave function collapses only in the act of measurement. This raises a philosophical question. If cycles exist, and if quantum events shape each universe equally, then who or what performed measurements in the universe before ours? Was there an observer? Or does the universe measure itself through interactions alone? Does every collision, every exchange of energy, every entanglement act as its own observer? Perhaps consciousness arises in every aeon as a natural consequence, because the universe produces minds to witness itself. Perhaps observers are inevitable. Whatever the truth may be, the possibility of cycles changes how the universe is perceived. There may have been a universe before ours. There may not have been. Cyclic models imagine cosmic rebirths. Standard models describe a singular beginning and quite expanding end. Some claim to see faint echoes of earlier universes in our sky. Others dismiss this as statical noise. Perhaps an ancient civilization once confronted the death of its universe and sought to pass through the collapse into the next. In the end, beyond all theories, one fact remains. We are here, conscious, questioning, alive in this fleeting moment between an unknown past and unimaginable future. If the universe cycles, then questions like this may be among the few things that echo across the air. And so the final thought, rests here. If the universe is a wheel turning through endless cycles, what role will this moment, this brief spark of awareness, play in this turn of the cosmos? Whatever the answer becomes, it may echo far longer than the universe